Well, we are rapidly approaching what is without a doubt my favorite time of year as the temperatures slowly begin to cool off, and with the change in seasons, that's kind of my signal that it's time to switch over my wardrobe and to transition my closet from my warm weather to cool weather clothing. This is something that I like to do every year because it just helps my clothing to always feel fresh. I have new things being brought back each season. And then also too, it just makes sure that the most seasonally appropriate items of clothing are just going to be what's most accessible for me. Okay, and I want to get right into this. The process that we're going to be going through today is a pretty simple one. I want to begin just with getting all of my clothing out, putting it here behind me on the bed. I just find that way I can really easily see at a glance everything that I have, and I find it a lot easier to make decisions. And then next, we'll go through and declutter what's no longer adding value to my life, what I'm no longer reaching for or wearing. And then finally, we'll go ahead and switch over my clothing and then put everything back. And I also want to do a little bit of organization as we put things away, because there's just some things about the way I have all of my clothes organized now that just aren't quite working. Of course, we'll dive into all of that later, but let's first get started just with getting everything out. Okay, so now we've got everything out. Let me just quickly walk you through it. So this is my entire wardrobe. Up front here, we just have all of my folded clothing. So I've got activewear, some sweaters, sleepwear, shorts, and pants are up front here, as well as some casual tees. And then all of my undergarments are in these two bins. I have socks, bras, underwear, all of that are in there. Then coming over here, I just have my bathing suits, swimwear. And then over here is all of my folded clothing. And then on the other side of the bed right there is just all of my off-season storage. So that's all my sweaters and things like that. So what I want to do now is just to go through everything and figure out item by item what I want to keep in my life going forward, and if there's anything that I want to declutter. The way that I kind of like to figure out what I want to keep versus declutter is just to ask myself a series of questions like, when was the last time I wore this? How do I feel when I wear this item? Is it comfortable? Does it fit? The last time I put this item on, did I end up wearing it out of the house? Kind of using my answers to those questions that really helps determine for me whether or not something is worth keeping going forward. So we're going to go through now. I'm going to ask myself some questions, go through each item. I like to hold it in my hands, trying it on if necessary. We'll figure out what all we want to declutter, and I want to focus especially on my clothing from this past season because that's going to be what's most fresh in my mind. Can't forget about undergarments, and for these I like to go through each item and just scrutinize the condition that it's in. So I'm looking for any holes, anything that's stretched out, anything that just isn't comfortable anymore, anything that maybe the shape has changed of over time, and those are great items for letting go of. And it's something that I just often forget to do. Like, I'll notice a pair of socks has a hole in it when I'm wearing them and just think, oh, I need to remember to throw that out later. then I forget to later, it goes in the wash, it gets folded. I don't realize that it still has a hole in it until the next time I wear it. So this is a great opportunity just to go through to check the condition of all of your items. So at this point, I finished going through everything, and there are some items that I know that I want to declutter, and a few others that are still a bit of a question mark. And so to kind of make my final decision on those question mark items, what I want to do is just to try them on, kind of looking in the mirror, just get a better sense for, do I like this item? How do I feel wearing it? Just kind of remind myself of that, because for some of them, I like that item, but it's been a while since I wore it. So we're going to put them on, just kind of see how we're feeling with each one. So trying all those items on was really good. I think it gave me some clarity. But now I want to walk you through what all I've decided to let go of and why. And guys, we're letting go of a lot today. I think that this might be my biggest clothing declutter ever, or at least in a few years. So first up, let's start with a romper, and I think I may have worn this once all season, and when I wore it, I just realized, I don't know if my body has changed or just my style has matured a bit over the past few years, but this just didn't quite feel right or look right wearing it. Then with this dress, I have kind of the opposite problem. I tried it on a few times throughout the year, but where the romper maybe feels a bit too juvenile for my style now, this definitely feels a bit too mature. Like maybe in 10 years, this might be a style that I would gravitate towards, but I just don't think it's where I'm at now, so I'm just going to let go of it. Then with this dress, I love the pattern of it, but I really do have a bit of an issue with the silhouette. It's very small and very short. Because of that, I feel like it really restricts the number of different places that I can wear it. I've probably owned this dress for, I think, 3 years now. I may have worn it like 3 or 4 times, but for me at least, that just isn't enough to justify keeping. And I'll also be letting go of this robe, and I actually really like the way that this fits. The material is really nice, but where I find myself not reaching for it as much is just that I don't feel like the color, the style of it is really something that suits me or my personal style. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to let go of this robe, but I'm probably going to keep my eye out for a robe that's a bit more my color palette, a bit more my style, and I really do think that I would get a lot more use out of a robe if it was something that just suited me a bit more. And I'll also be decluttering this black pair of pants, which when everything goes right with them, I love, but they wrinkle really easily and then also stretch out a lot, and so because of that, I just never find myself reaching for them. And speaking of things I don't reach for, I'll also be letting go of this pair of Madewell jeans, which although I really liked when I bought them, the more that I've worn them, the more that I've just realized that I really don't like mid-rise jeans just because of the way my waist, my hips work. It's pretty unflattering on me, and just it doesn't work with a lot of my tops either. So I'm going to be letting go of these, maybe selling them because they are in fantastic condition, but yeah, I just don't wear them. Then I have a couple pairs of ribbed pants and a ribbed shirt, and although I really like the look of ribbed clothing, with these particular items, the pants themselves just, I don't find the material all that comfortable, and the shirt isn't that flattering. So I'm going to be getting rid of these, but I'm kind of sad about it because they're things that I was really hoping would work out. Just for me, comfort really is king, and so if I'm not comfortable in the items, I'm just not going to wear them. So for that reason, I'll be letting go. Okay, then this sweater is something that I'd consider that I kind of want to progressively declutter. So right now, it is the only black sweater that I own, and there are a lot of elements of it that I do like, but there are just kind of a few factors in terms of the length, the style of it that don't quite feel right. And so what I'm thinking I'm going to do is hold onto it for the time being, but I want to really be on the lookout for a black sweater that I love. And when I find one that I really like, I'll at that point just replace this sweater with it and then let go of this item. But for now, it's gonna stay in my closet, so it's kind of like a gradual declutter. I just have a feeling that if I keep my eye out, I'll be able to find something that I like a lot better. Okay, then I will also be decluttering this America sweatshirt. I got this for my citizenship party when I became an American citizen earlier this year, which was super exciting, but this just isn't something that I see myself wearing, you know, very often. I did consider keeping it because I thought maybe I could wear it for the 4th of July. Then I remembered that the 4th of July is in July, which means that it's normally in the 80s and 90s here in North Carolina. So a sweater just really isn't the play for that. So I'm going to declutter that just because I don't think that I'll end up wearing it. Well, let's breeze through these last few clothing items. I have a pair of shorts and 2 pairs of leggings that just don't fit me the way that they used to or the way that I want them to, either because the material changed or my body changed over time. So I'm going to be letting go of these. Then the sleepwear set just isn't that comfortable, and I'm a big believer that we should be comfortable in what we're sleeping in. So I'll say bye to these as well. And this tank top is one that I've always loved the pattern of, but even after some tailoring, I just don't think the silhouette is for me. So sadly, I will be permanently moving on from this one. This tank top is one that I love the style of in theory, but it just doesn't look good with any kind of bra or bra-like solution underneath it. And to me, that's important, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Then these 3 shirts, I just didn't find myself reaching for or wearing all that often this year. And the last couple things, I have a whole bunch of worn out undergarments and a couple bathing suits, one of which has just seen better days, and the other just wasn't that flattering on me. So that's a lot that we're going to be decluttering. I think we have probably 20 or 30 items here at least, but honestly, it kind of feels right. Over the past few months, I've just been noticing that there was a lot of like extra stuff in my wardrobe that I wasn't wearing, but that was taking up space. So it feels really good just to let go of some of that excess, and I do really feel confident now that the things that I have left in my wardrobe are all items that I'm going to be wearing regularly. So I hope that that was a bit of a helpful look into what I'm going to be decluttering and some of the why behind it. I feel like really understanding people's decluttering process can be really helpful in your own decluttering journey. Next, what I want to do is to switch over my wardrobe. I want to transition my clothing from my warm weather to cool weather clothing. So I'm going to get out all of my sweaters now, decide what I want to put away for the season. While I'm doing that too, I also kind of want to look at all of the cold weather clothing that I have, see if there are any holes in my wardrobe that I want to fill. So I just put away all of my summer dresses, tank tops, most of my shorts and t-shirts. I did leave just a couple shorts and t-shirts out just in case we have any warmer days or if I want to do some lounging around the house. But over the upcoming months, I probably will put the rest of those away as well. And then I got out all of my winter clothing. And as I was looking through everything that I had, there were a few holes in my wardrobe that I did identify that I want to fill. One of the biggest ones being what I already mentioned. I really want to find a black sweater, as well as just a couple of nice neutral sweaters that can really just be versatile pieces in my wardrobe, things that I can dress up, dress down. Don't really have a ton of sweaters like that, or the ones that I have are definitely kind of wearing out because I've had them for years now. Would also love to find just a couple more sports bras and long sleeve activewear tops. I've been working out a ton more this year than I have pretty much ever in my life, and because of that, I just find myself needing a lot more activewear than I ever used to, so I want to find a few more pieces along those lines. And then the last thing would just be to find some kind of fall, winter, just warm weather dresses. Don't have very many of them, and especially kind of on Sundays going to church, I like dressing up, wearing a dress, so I would love to find just a couple of dresses that I can wear in cold weather occasions. So I wrote all those down. We can keep an eye out for them. Maybe we can even schedule a little thrifting trip soon, see if we can find any of those items. But now the last step here is just to put everything back, to organize what we have left. All right, well that's my closet all decluttered and switched over. I have to say, it just feels so good having a closet that's organized, that's streamlined, that's filled with seasonally appropriate clothing. I can't wait just to have all of my sweaters at arm's reach. I really hope this has given you some inspiration to switch over your own wardrobe, maybe to do some decluttering. It really is one of those small things that you can do that just makes such a difference, feels so good. So I hope that this can act as some motivation. That's really everything that I have for you all today. So as always, friends, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.